Hello student, here we are going to see the daily current affair of 11th June, and first topic is read like this. Brazil, France launch blue nationally determined contribution challenge. Alongside Brazil, France an inaugural group of 8 countries, Australia, Fiji, Kenya, Mexico, Palua, Sicily had already joined the initiative. About the blue NDC all challenge its call on all countries to place the ocean at the heart of their NDC ahead of the COP30. Supported by Conservancy, the Ocean Climate Platform, and the World Resource Institute through the Ocean Resilience and Climate Alliance. Role play by ocean in addressing the climate crisis, carbon dioxide absorption. Ocean absorption approximately 30% of global carbon dioxide emission, acting as a significant carbon sink. Coastal habitat like mangroves, seagrasses sequester carbon at the rate up to the 4 times higher than terrestrial forest. Heat regulation, it captures about 90% of the excess heat generated by the greenhouse gas emission. Renewable energy, offshore wind energy has the potential to meet over one-third of the global electricity needs. Global initiative to protect ocean ecosystem. Ocean ecosystem. The marine protected area region designated for conservation, restricting activity to protect marine life. 22 aim to stimulate ocean science to preserve ocean decline and promote sustainable development. Indian initiative, Misty Mangrove Initiative for Shoreline Habitat and Tribal Income Deep Ocean Mission, etc. Call for a shift from panic over the falling fertility to unmet reproductive goals, equality to liberty. Some states, Bihar, UP, Jharkhand, placement fertility. Barrier to reproductive freedom, financial constraints, poor intensified financial limitation as a major barrier, a structure challenge, job insecurity 21%, housing constrained, and the lack of the children 18%, hinder family planning, social social pressure 19% face family partner pressure to have fewer children, modern anxiety, climate change, political instability, loneliness, shifting gender norms and impact decision, India's progress and persistence inequality, fertility rate dropped from the high 1970 to 2025 due to the better education and healthcare. Gaps remain disparity across state, caste and income group, limited reproductive right. UN UNFA recommendation for India expanding sexual reproductive health service, universal access to conceptional, safe abortion, infertility rate, removing structure barrier, affordable childcare, education, housing, and flexible work policy, inclusive policy, extend service to the LGBTIQIA plus unmarried individual, marginalized groups. About the UNFPA, founded in the 1969 as the United Nations Fund in Population Activity, renamed in 1987 to the United Nations Population Fund, retaining the original acronym UNFPA core mission. UNFPA work to guarantee sexual reproductive rights and choice for all, empowering women and young people to make informed decisions about their body. MOU MOHUA issue advisory for repurposing of a smart city, a special work purpose vehicle. Government has decided SPV will continue beyond the smart city mission ending on the 13 0.3 Ratna. About the SPV, Genesis SPV were created under the SCM in all 100 selected city and company under the Company Act 2013, LAF in 2015, and the CSM aim to enhance the quality of the life in 2010. 100 selected city by providing efficient service, robust infrastructure, and sustainable environment. Ownership jointly held by the state and UT government and ULBs in a 50-50 equity ratio. A structure each SPV is led by the full-time CEO, inclusion representative from the central government, state government, and ULB on its board. Performance performance mandated to implement the mission through the focused planning, project development, no on ground execution by the March 2025. Over 93% of the 1000 plus smart city mission projected were completed with the 99.44% of the 48.100 crore budget disbursed. Repurpose of SPV domain for future engagement technological support. SPV may help ULB manage cyber hygiene, analytics, and data system project implementation. SPV can implement and develop bankable project and charge a 1.5% to 3% implementation fee as per the state norm. Research and assessment SPV can support evidence-based planning through the assessment, logistic, and coordination. Investment facilitation SPV can promote local economic development through the project structuring, procurement, and intergovernmental coordination. Next topic is Home Minister review flood management preparedness and mitigation strategy ahead of the monsoon. The minister emphasizes India's zero causality approach in disaster management and the need for a space technology in the flood control. Key directive toward the flood management: uniform road design, ensure drainage integration in the road design, particularly for a state and district highway, forest expansion in the river basin, increasing forest cover in Narmada River basin for basin revival, soil erosion reduction, etc. About the flood management, the flood definition. The flood definition, it is defined as a high water stage in which water overflow it natural and artificial bank onto the normally dry land such as the river into dating its flood plains. Constitutional provision primary responsibility for the flood control lie with the state of entry 17 of the list. Second, flood management architecture broadly classified as a structure measure reservoir mitigate flood by storing excess water. DVS dam in Damodar basin embankment in flood prone state provide effective flood protection. Example over 37,000 kilometer built under the flood management program. Detention basin wet lines. Detention basin are the usually formed by utilizing natural depression, swamps, lakes, मोकामा टाल बिहार. देख लो भैया. भैया आपका मोकामा टाल देख लो. Detention basis and wetline. Detention bases are usually formed by utilizing nature depression, swamps and lakes. Example मोकामा टाल बिहार. बिहार में मोकामा टाल देख लो आपका आ गया के नानी. वही यहाँ न्यूज में आ रहा मोकामा टाल. How structure measures floodplain zone aim to manage floodplain by demarcating flood-prone area for restricting development. Flood forecasting managed by the Central Water Commission. Commission is a cost-effective measure for the flood management. Flood forecasting has been extended from 3 to 7 days. Application of space technology in flood management. Flood management में मकामा था. Flood बाढ़ आने में. Real-time flood monitoring and mapping. Example: ISRO's National Remote Sensing Center provided provide flood inundation map during the Kerala and Assam flood 2022 early warning system, automated for flood early warning system under the National Hydrological Project, integrated satellite data with the IMD INCWC input for predictive alert, flood hazard zoning and mapping state level flood hazard atlas Assam, Bihar, Odisha using historical satellite data. Example: Bihar atlas aid in relocating Bihar vulnerable settlements. Satellite communication ensure satellite communication ensure connectivity during flood for disaster response. Web-based platform NRCS Bhuman disseminated flood data to NDMA and SDMA. Next is the crisis in India's microfinance sector. Insight from the RBI Deputy Governor. Gross loan portfolio of the microfinance sector fell 13.9% year on year. That reflect growing borrowers stress and reduced lending. The microfinance for loans, microcredit is the provision of the small scale financial service to people who lack access to traditional banking service. World Bank challenge of microfinance institution for high cost of the outreach. MFI is serve remote underbanked population through the small ticket loan. India's India's MFI outreach remain at 8%, far behind Bangladesh 65% high interest rate. MFI charge 12 to 30% interest, higher than the 8 other higher than the bank 8 to 12% higher rate persists due to the fixed transaction cost, limited volume. Urban poor often ignore MFI, over focus on the rural poor. Only 80% of FMI target urban poor. Loan default, high delinquency due to the no collateral and poor risk management. Management, management. Over 70% of payments are late, limiting cash flow and sustainability. Over dependence on the bank. 80% of the FMI funding comes from the commercial bank. Lack of the product diversification. MFI are already limited to microcredit. Other services like insurance, saving, remittance are rarely offer. Government initiatives should be microfinance scheme. A microfinance scheme A scheme to program required participating NGOs, FMI to provide equity support to access CDB finance, self-help group, bank linkage program formulated by NABARD and launched in 1992. Next question is Next topic is Italian hydropower project clear in Arunachal Pradesh. Biodiversity host forest forest advisory committee has given in the principal approval to Italian hydropower project situated at the higher conservation value area above the forest advisory committee nature. It is a statutory body under the provision of the section 3 of the Forest Conservation Act 1918. Role advised is community in nature so far as the diversion for the forest land for the purpose of the non-forestry use including mining. About the Italian hydropower project location, the Dibang Valley in Arunachal Pradesh, it formed the part of the Eastern Himalaya Global Biodiversity Hotspot, one of the 36 such global biodiversity hotspot. River River Italian project will feature two gravity dams, one on the Dri River, another on the Tango's capacity of 3097 megawatt. Implication of the Italian hydropower project: environmental impact. Deforestation project will involve felling of the 2.7 lakh tree, diversion of the over 1100 hectare of the unclassed forest land. Biodiversity: about 6 globally and threatened mammal species are found in this region, of which Three are endangered and three are in a vulnerability category. This region has about 65% of the total border species of the India. Of the India, and it is also has three very rare restriction range endemic biospecies indigenous concern local indigenous community including AD due to potential displacement and loss of the land. Loss of the land. Satrat, next topic is also in use. Sarat's dipped and oil spill advisory issued by the Ministry of after fire on container ship of the Kerala fishing